We have had a few conversations on stage. We've never worn the same clothes before, and we're not trying to spend the next 20 minutes talking over the last 25 years of our lives working together. But again, for people in the room who don't know who you are, which I think everyone knows who you are, but a little bit about yourself. Who is Michael Denmark?
I'm the founder and executive chairman of the Great Entertainment Group. Very proudly, a group of companies that essentially focus all of their time, 365 days a year, of putting smiles on faces. We've got representation here from all of the businesses. We've got Zicket over here. We've got the best young producer in Asia, young Josh Myers over there. We've got all of our partnership marketing people. We spend a hell of a lot of time, because we have a venue stroke asset year round, as well as creating other content, producing it all ourselves in our own environment.
And Live Matters.
And you produce Live Matters when you can, and we like to support that.
Tell us, okay, we're going to take one look backwards because we can, and then the rest of it about looking forward. But what's your best memory of All That Matters? You are one of the OGs. It was us that came up with the idea.
Yes. First of all, congratulations. It's as Paddy said, it's quite a feat to keep something going for 20 years in this generation. So you like to give yourself lots of plaudits, and we all accept that. But from me, I'd like to congratulate you personally, because I don't know whether or not everybody really does understand how much you've done for the entertainment industry across the last 20 years. You are the super connector. You are there for everybody. You have made a lot of people a lot of money. I know it doesn't necessarily come your way, but you really have. You've followed the trends, and you've brought the global market together, and you have a lot of respect from a lot of people. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's try and not make the next 15 minutes about you. Thank you.
You made me cry before. So thank you.
So the first memory, really, we were young, as you saw in that picture, and the first Music Matters was at the Grand Hyatt in Hong Kong, and the response had been very positive. There were 500 people coming, I believe it was. And on the night before, the general manager of the hotel, lovely guy, Gordon Fuller, came and found us and said, Jasper, Michael, unless I get 300,000 Hong Kong dollars in the next 24 hours, I'm not opening the ballroom tomorrow morning. So we learnt, it was our first strong lesson in cash flow management, and we did what any good young promoter would do, and we both called our mums. And they saved the day for the beginning, first show of Music Matters, along with all the sponsors and everything else. But there was a pinch moment that we were saved by our mothers. And from a content perspective, I think my favourite moment will always be Nile Rodgers up on stage, just playing and singing and telling his story. It was priceless.
It was the year after we had. But thank you. Some amazing memories. But let's come back to this year. We spoke this time last year. How's this year looked for the carnival? Everything. Since we last saw you, I think Hong Kong is the growth is compounding since the masks came off 3 years ago. By the end of October, we will have done 2.5 million riders on our wheel, and of those 2.5 million people, 85% of them are from China, specifically Greater Bay Area. So that's incredibly positive. We populate the site with events, and we've done about 750 events so far this year, which is literally 365 days. As you can imagine, there's a lot going on. Hence, we have 100 full-time staff, and there's a lot happening there. The carnival itself, the AIA Carnival, which is on the screen now, that's in its 11th iteration this year, which is really quite something. We've done 7.5 million tickets, I believe, at the carnival over the years, and in the middle of this year, after the last carnival closed, we produced Cirque du Soleil for the first time for us in Hong Kong. We brought Kuza. Oh, this is a very good timing. There's a Kuza tent there. And it was really interesting going back to that growth of Hong Kong. The same show was in Hong Kong in 2018, and they sold 90,000 tickets, and we had to extend because of the popularity, and we did 137,000 tickets, and I think that 47,000 came from across the border, which is very exciting. So it's been a good year so far.
And you're working with a lot of partners. I mean, you mentioned the gentleman who runs your partnerships is here as well, but I mean, there is a very large logo wall at when you go down there. But how important? It's a silly question, but how important is partnership to GG?
I mean, the entire business was built on brand partnerships. I was just on a call just now with the British Chamber in Hong Kong, talking to the guys that run the stadium and Art Basel, and we were talking about basically the three parties that need to work closely together to get a successful event off the ground in Hong Kong, and that is the government, the producer, and the brands. The good news for us in Hong Kong is that it's a small market and there are not a huge amount of big properties, but there are a lot of brands that really want to contribute to the community. Not just to the community, they want to send a message across the border, and they want to communicate to the people that are coming over. So it's for us, it couldn't be any more important, and we have that really unusual predicament of having so many people to potentially work with. UBS has been a great partner. They supported us with Cirque, AIA obviously with the Wheel and Carnival. We're working with Trip.com. We're working with Zhao Hongshu, which is to those that can't understand my Mandarin, it's essentially the Instagram of China, but who have numbers like you can't believe. Listening to Paddy talking about traveling all over the world and going to every market, it's kind of humbling because we really are focused on our market of sort of 81 million people, and we don't go too far outside of that market. But dealing with our new partners across the border and dealing with the sheer volume of numbers that they have with regards to how to help communicate is literally a whole new ballgame. It's very exciting.
There is that lovely quote of, "You're going to need a bigger sponsor wall."
Yes, yeah, but you have to be careful, of course, that you make sure that everybody gets their fair share. And I think the beauty of having a year-round presence with the Wheel and the beauty of doing an event that is 70 days long with regards to the Carnival, we managed to really give everybody a fair bite of the cherry, so to speak.
You mentioned Kai Tak, the new stadium in Hong Kong, Kai Tak Sports Park. How has that impacted the market? Has it impacted yourselves?
It's been nothing but positive. I mean, they've only been functioning for 7 months, and they have sold nearly 1.5 million tickets. And what's really interesting is that all the shows that are going in there, they've got K-pop, Taiwanese, they had Coldplay to start, they had the Rugby Sevens, obviously, to start.
They had Rugby Matters as their official first event ever.
As we said, it's not about you right now, Jasper. That's a yellow card. I've got a list here because I spoke to them earlier on. But they've had Coldplay, Nicholas J, Mayday, Gem, Jay Chow, NCT, 17, Blackpink are coming, but they're all doing 4 and 5 shows. It's 50,000 people every time. And Hong Kong didn't have this before. And the point is that again, our Greater Bay family are coming down to the new stadium, and they're seeing. They can't see K-pop in China anyway, so they're coming down and seeing it, and then they're staying, and they're coming, and they are contributing to the economy. So the stadium, I think, is very positive. I think Hong Kong is in a very positive position because if anybody gets a chance to go over the border into Shenzhen or Guangzhou, it is literally like going into the future to 2060. So all of a sudden Hong Kong is now the quaint, cute place that they like to come to experience things that they can't get over the border, such as cars driving on the left-hand side of the road, Star Ferry, trams, carnivals,
cash,
wheels, cash, indeed.
It's true. It's true. You need cash in Hong Kong. You can't use cash. But Brittany, can you use cash in China? No. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah. For me, the stadium, I'm very bullish on the stadium. Very bullish. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And we're talking about the Greater Bay Area and what have you, but what does it mean for a company like yourselves? What do you need to do to adapt to become something attractive to the Greater Bay Area?
Well, I think that was a question for 2 or 3 years ago, and we've now evolved. We have a sophisticated marketing team made up of Mandarin speakers, Cantonese speakers, English speakers, who are all working on their specific area. When it comes to the Greater Bay, 81 million people again, and we're knowing how to communicate. So with Cirque du Soleil, for example, the average ticket price is $125. Those 47,000 people that came down, we targeted specifically with our partners to ensure that we were talking to the high net worths. When it comes to the wheel, the cost of going on the wheel is $2.50. To get 2.5 million people on there, most of them coming from China, we need to be talking to the broader market. And so it's working with the right partners. And, working with the Carnival this year, we'll have either, I think it's Xpeng or Zeekr, which is a car company. Both of them are car companies. We'll be partnering. Trip.com again, and various other Chinese partners that were never spending money in the market before. So that fantasy we used to have of the two-way brands going into China and brands coming down to Hong Kong is actually happening. So yeah, that's really exciting.
And I mean, it's 81 million people, right? Is there anything new that you're putting on for that coming up?
Well, I mean, it's again competing. Shenzhen is about to open the world's largest indoor ski resort, which is like pretty much the size of Switzerland, and then you've got. I mean, anything you could possibly imagine they're building. So you can't compete with the new, but you can continue to offer things that they can't, that market can't basically reach in that area. So going back to the stadium, the content in the stadium, Cirque du Soleil. Cirque was such a success that we've now pretty much signed a deal for every other year for the next 10 years, bringing a new show into the market and agreeing that those shows won't go into Guangdong so that the people will come down. So, Art Basel, the high net worths are coming to Hong Kong for shows such as that. Yeah, Hong Kong really is. It's thriving from a live entertainment perspective. It's positive.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
Okay, so I'm going to get into we've talked about a little bit about the past. We've talked about a lot about the present. What does the future hold? What for GEG? What's coming up next? What are you and I talking about next year? And should we work out what we're wearing now?
That was almost funny. Look, one of my pride and joys is Zicket with Aidan and Jav and Rachel over there. We're approaching 17 million tickets sold through Zicket, and we've done 10,000 events, 22 million RFID transactions. And now we're expanding, and we're working in 10 different countries. So that's a very positive growth story, and something that we're really excited about expanding upon. The Carnival is something that's become an annual tradition for Hong Kong, and we are working with the government and all other stakeholders to ensure that continues for the next 5 years. In the next couple of weeks, we will be opening Hong Kong's first paddle courts on the harbour front in partnership with UBS. There'll be 3 paddle courts that are going to come up every month for the next few months and potentially expand further, which is a lot of fun. What else are we doing? More musical theatre. So MJ the musical, we're working on. Hamilton, we're working on. We're also working on potentially a big concourse of elegance, classic cars that, again, bringing something to Hong Kong that people will come down from Greater Bay to enjoy. But for me, one of the, it's a privilege to be where we are on that harbour front, and it's something that we never take for granted, which is why we work so hard to take pictures of all of it and share it with everybody because we're so proud of it. But as I look at my team around there, majority of these guys have been working with me for 10, 12 years. Josh, in fact, the young man over there, was going back to your connecting, he shared with me the first email I had with him the other day, which was 10 years ago when we did our first carnival, and you introduced me to him. He'd just got off the boat from Manchester, had no idea what he was doing, and he's now running our organisation from a production perspective. Don't stand up because somebody will try and hire you. But yeah, there is a sense of loyalty, there's a sense of family, and there's a sense of pride from my perspective, nurturing careers and seeing people doing joint ventures with people like Aidan, bringing him over from Leeds and him building the business around 10 different markets, working with people like Ant for a very long time. Sarah, my employee number one, has been with me for 11 or 12 years, and George is about to take over the whole business, which is great. So for me...
Does she know that?
She asked 2 weeks ago, that was the acknowledgement of a yes. For me, though, it's about slowing down, because it really is, there's a lot, and the carnival piece is a young man's game. So I am formally, and have formally, handed it over to the young men, and my wife and I will be touring around South America while the carnival's on this winter, getting some inspiration at the Carnival in Rio on Copacabana Beach. So hopefully, we're calling it a work trip, but I just need to get as far away from our carnival as possible to basically not walk around talking about and telling people what to do. So, yeah.
I've done it before. Can I carry your bags?
Yes. Nearly funny again. Yeah. You got 1 minute to say something else funny.
I think we're...
Oh, is that it? Is that it? Okay. Okay, that's it really.
I was going to say what's up next for Michael, but you just said it. So.
All right, okay. Well, that is it. It's slowing down. It's realising, look, everybody in this room is in the entertainment business. We went through murder for 2 or 3 years through COVID. All of us wondered whether or not we were going to survive. We were wondering whether or not we should become a teacher or whatever we were going to need to change. A lot of businesses didn't survive. We had businesses that didn't survive. So to be 3 years after that, in a position where we as a group of companies are, I guess, thriving in a growth market with a good trajectory moving forwards, and to be able to step to the side and slow down and hand it over to a team of people that I trust, love, and respect is a privilege beyond all privilege. And I talk to older people. We're 57 in November, and everybody says, I wish I slowed down earlier. So I'm trying. Nobody still believes it in the team that I'm going to go away, but I am trying to take a moment to enjoy, the fruits of our labour. And having gone through all of that hell, it's nice to be in a position where I can wear linen jackets with my friend in, beautiful army green or olive green, whatever it is. Yeah, it's a great place to be, and I say all this with great humility. I mean, we all work very, very hard, and none of us, I believe, can do what we do without the power of collaboration and the power of transparency, and belief and enthusiasm. And I think we're all in the business of putting smiles on faces, and that is the privilege.
And you deserve it. You deserve everything that's coming, and that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm seethingly jealous, but it's not about me.
Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, so this person has officially put more smiles on more people's faces in this part of the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, my business partner 25 years ago.
Thank you.
Mr. Michael Denmark.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jasper.